of the Standard newspaper. Some of the key demands there, of course, the twin demands to get rid of Al Ghurair and the French farmer Oti Mofo have received the same demand from the very morning. We're in a contractual agreement with these two, one that cannot be terminated. Oti Mofo has signed a 2.4 billion shilling deal. Al Ghurair has a 2-year deal with his company. But what I find interesting when it comes to the printing of ballot papers is that IBC seems to say that they made an attempt to meet this demand by getting UNDP to help with sourcing for somebody to print these papers. But that demand, or that attempt rather, by IBC was rejected by the political parties. How would we go about that?
Certainly so. Those two demands, the one for getting someone else to print the ballot papers other than Al Ghurair, and the one of getting another organization other than Oti Mofo. Those ones seem to be very difficult as it is. Funds have already been committed. Right. Contracts have been signed, which now binds IBC. Moving out of those contracts will be very expensive in the long run, and then given the time frame. I think the only concessions that IBC was able to make right now, they said, fine, we have entered into contracts, but we are going to make it public. Right. So that we know what are the obligations, what are the responsibilities of each one in those contracts. And then the other issue which they said they will reconsider is the format of the Form 34Bs. Right. Because NASA had pointed out that they have only accounted for security features on the front of those forms, but at the back end, you still have the spreadsheets. So that one, the IB said they'll be able to look into it and make changes, and the one of giving access to the media to cover the result announcement and
are not allowed to cover some of these issues, even the counting and the tallying of these votes. What difference will this make? The
only difference will come in now that not just media, but also observer missions. Yes. They're going now to be allowed to cover and scrutinize the tallying process from actual counting, tabulation of those votes, and the actual way those forms are being filled. Right. There's even one of the key issues that NASA has brought forward, that some observers should also be allowed to countersign. But I think that's one of the issues that the 4-member committee is looking at. Right. So that they're allowed to countersign that these are the votes, this is what has been inserted in those forms, and they can be able to countersign. So I think it will be more transparent than last time when there were some certain instances they will not have that access. Right. I mean, of course, this